I've got a few men in my life right now that are many years younger than me, and I love doing life with them because they're real, right? Sometimes they feel bad. Man, I feel like I always tell you what's going on bad. That's okay. I want to know. That's what a friend is. We're going to talk about it, but we're not going to stay negative. We're not going to stay down. We're not going to stay defeated. We're not going to stay depressed. We're going to look at that with discernment. We're going to become better, and we're going to say, what part can I play in a solution to make what's broken a little better?
Welcome back to the Man Maker Show. We are dedicated to helping men become stronger and more intentional leaders because the fight in every man's life is real and you were created to overcome. We know that hard times make better men, and through adversity, we find our inner warrior. Thanks for showing up and opening your mind in order to make your future greater than your past. Here's your host, Brad Wolgamott.
Welcome back to the Man Maker Show. Hope you guys are doing incredible. Whoa, we're having some fun. Today, we are going to cover a little bit of a challenging subject for you. Challenging for me. It's something that I've battled with for most of my life. And that's about how to pick a mentor. And one of the great challenges, one of the great risks we take when we're trying to become a better man is who are we going to follow? Who are we going to copy our life after, if you will? Who are we going to look to as an example? And in today's world, we're full of posers. We live in an internet era where anybody can present themselves to be something that we can believe it if we want to, based upon the things they show. But that's obviously what's critical for you as you're learning to be a man, as you're learning to get back up, as you're learning to be a man maker, because that's what we're about here, is really learning how to pick the right people. You really want to get with someone that you can dig into life with, someone that you can fail with, someone that you can be transparent with, someone that you can go through challenges. And one of the great risks is how do you identify that? As I've said before, one of the great things I've asked for many years of my life is a great mentor, men that will stand with me, men that I can stand with, men that'll be real, men that will fall down and get back up, men that when I make a mistake, they're not afraid to tell me, but they're going to love me back to a place of grace, a place where I can be confident again. Because one of the things that happens when we make mistakes is we tend to own them a little longer than we should. We want to learn from them, but it's that making a mistake and then becoming a mistake that we really have to avoid. And in today's world of so much social media, so many people, so many gurus on the internet that present themselves as being an expert in so many areas, I want to give you a couple of tips, a couple of things to look for. Hopefully I can help you. Hopefully I can be one of those people in your life. I may not know you well enough to be a personal mentor to you, but if I could reach to you through this great digital media of YouTube and Spotify and so forth, then so be it. That's my goal. That's my dream. I really want to make an impact. I really want to take the experiences of my life and share them with you in a way that hopefully don't judge me for them. Hopefully you don't think I'm looking for sympathy. What I'm looking for is for you to understand what transparency looks like. And that we got to get back up. We're going to fall down. Things are going to happen in our lives. And if you've made some mistakes and you're struggling, well, join the club. There's no one that's going to get through this great thing called life without making some huge mistakes. And so one of the things we have to really dig into is being aware that there are a lot of people that are going to show you something, but when it comes down to they're not it. As an example, let's start off with just friends. There are friends that will be with you for a reason. They'll be friends with you for a season, and there'll be friends that'll be there with you for a lifetime. What we're looking for in developing a mentor is someone that can be a friend, someone that can tell us truth at the same time, laugh and have a good time, someone that will be there when things aren't going well. You got this reason, season, lifetime. I believe everybody comes into my life for a reason. I can learn something from everybody, and I hope that I do. There's some people that'll be in my life just for a season. It could be a few months, could be a few years. It could be a decade, who knows? All the great men that spoke in my life that maybe are no longer part of my life, that have run and hid or been through things or couldn't handle my life for whatever reason. I took what I could from that situation, and hopefully I'm better. Hopefully they're proud of the fact that I stand on their shoulders to go places that maybe they haven't gone before. Or maybe I just take what I can and move on. All of you can learn something from everybody. And I really want to challenge you to embrace that. You're going to have people that are going to want to come to you and want your advice. And there's a whole group of posers that are looking for attention, not intention, right? They're looking for you to be their crying chair. They want to be there so you can give them their confirmation. They're looking for you to tell them that they're doing fine. They're not looking for change. And I'm going to tell you something, that's not the kind of people you want to surround yourself with. The real people you're looking for are ones that want to change, that are willing to take the hard advice, that have an intention about being a better man, about being a better leader. If you're looking for confirmation, then just watch YouTube, just watch social media and get the good news. But that's not where breakthrough is going to come from. Breakthrough is going to come from when we get through that unconscious incompetence, get to the conscious competence where someone can actually tell us a few things that we need to know that maybe are difficult to hear, but they're critical for us to have any kind of breakthrough. There's a lot of people out there on the internet that look good, and I don't know if they smell good, but that's the same, but they just have all the looks, right? They got the right clothing, they got the right hair, they got the right jewelry, they drive the right cars. And a lot of that could just be debt driven, right? They could just be looking to impress but not to empower. You're looking for people that will genuinely connect with you. If you find yourself being impressed by someone but not feeling empowered by someone, that's not probably the person you're looking for. You're looking for a person that when you leave their presence, you feel better about your life. I was on the phone today with a pastor that travels around the world and speaks to people through all kinds of mediums. And we had a great chat. It was 10 or 15 minutes. But what was amazing is at the end, he said, "Brad, let me pray for you." Right? And he just laid some stuff down that left me feeling hopeful, left me feeling like I matter, left me feeling like God's got me and he's watching over me. I want people around me that don't just give me fluff, but at the same time, don't just kick my butt. Right? I've had mentors like that, then I leave them like, whoa, I got a lot of work to do. And I like that, but I also want to know that they believe in me, that I can do it, that I can overcome it. And every one of you, I think, are probably in the same boat. So surround yourself with people that aren't just looking to impress you, but they really want to dig in. I can remember coaching athletes that were incredible in practice. And I mean, when they walked on the field, they did unbelievable in their warm-ups. But when it came down to the big event, oh, my arm hurts. Oh, my back's tight, because they couldn't deal with failure. One thing you'll be able to identify about looking for people you want to follow is how do they handle failure. It's been said that the difference between good and great are those that get back up from adversity faster than those that don't. When I was bringing in scouts to watch some of my kids to see if I could get them bigger opportunities, whether it be for college or pro or prepping them for higher levels, I can remember one of the most consistent things they would look for. And they said, I want to see how they fail. I know they can hit. I know they can run. I know they can field. And whatever you're working on, we can go out there and perform, right? But what it's going to come down to is, what are you going to do when you're slumping? What are you going to do when things aren't going well? What are you going to do when it seems like everything seems to be stacking up against you? The greats handle the adversity better than anybody else. They can flush it. They can make a mistake, they can leave it. I had a coach, I coached this one year, and a kid would make a mistake in the field, and the coach would yell and say, "So what?" Right? And it really impacted, like, so what? It doesn't matter. It might have mattered in that moment, but what matters now is what's coming next. Are we getting better from that? I can remember being in the finals of a tournament down in California, semifinals, and if we won this game, we were going to play for the California State Championship, and we were a Washington team. And we were up by a couple runs, and I had a tremendous player. And he pitched up until the final inning, and then he just ran out of gas. And I had to pull him. And he hung his head, and I didn't know what to do with him. So I put him at third base, because he's an incredible ball player. But boy, could he not handle being held. And sure as heck, we're up by, I think we're up by one run. There's a man on first, man on second. There's 2 outs. All we got to do is get 1 out. And what do you think happened? The next hitter, boom, hits the ball to third baseman. And instead of just taking the ball and stepping on third and game over, instead of throwing the ball to first place, game over, he decides to make something fancy and he sidearms the ball to second base over his head, all the way to the right center field wall. What happens? The guy from second comes around to score, the guy from first comes around to score, and we lose. And it was all because this great player couldn't handle failure. And isn't it amazing? Unfortunately, that young man washed out of baseball in high school. He just couldn't deal with it. I want to challenge you. As a brother, you're gonna fail. The question is, what are you gonna do? These scouts would see, do they hang their head? Do they kick the dirt? Do they blame players? Do they listen to the coach? Do they encourage the next player? Do they pass on whatever they learned from their particular failure to make the next guy around them better? This is a crucial component. And when you're looking for someone to identify with, when you're looking for a coach, or if you are deciding to be a coach, it is crucial how you handle these things and the people you're with, how they handle you when you make mistakes. I love this coach. His name was Troy, and he said, "So what?" Right? The next year, yeah, right, so what? Let's just go, next ball. Because the game wasn't over and we still had time to play. And if this kid had had his head right and just made a simple play, we'd have been in the championship. In the scheme of things, it's no big deal. But it marked a spot in my head where, how will you handle when things aren't going well? Are you the kind of person that when things get tough, you're looking for a reason to not perform? Do you disappear at the time when it's most important that you show up? Do you lean in to that last at bat, right? I can remember in the state championship when Braden was playing baseball and we were down a run. We had a guy on third, we had 2 outs, and he was on deck. And I knew he wanted to get up to bat. I knew he wanted to have a chance to win the game. I knew that if he got his chance, he was going to take his cuts. Whether he was going to win the game or not, he wanted it. And unfortunately, the guy in front of him got out, and the game was over, and we finished second in the state, and it was disappointing. But be that guy that wants the pressure, that wants to be in the moment, right? I think it said that Michael Jordan was called upon 32 times to take the final shot and missed. That he's missed over 9,000 shots. He's lost hundreds of games, but that is why he won. That is why he continued to win for years and years. It's because even though he missed the final shot, even though he was called upon to be the guy, and he failed, he continued to build on those moments. It was said that he was cut from his junior high or high school team. What are you going to do? Give up or lean in? We're looking for mentors that challenge us. Not the people that, oh, you don't make me look good, I'm out. You don't carry the right image, you're out. We're looking for people that when you struggle, they lean into your greatness. They look for the opportunity to find the good and build on those fundamentals. This is a huge, huge topic and oftentimes missed because we think it's all about victory and really it's not. I mean, let's be honest. The things we learn the most are from the things that we oftentimes fail at. We should build on victories. We should build on great moments. Those are huge things. But I gotta believe the greatest moments of breakthrough is when we fail and we say, why? And we dig in. And we want a coach that gets into our head and say, okay, struggling in a relationship. Why? What is it that you can change? What is it that you can own? What pieces of this relationship that are in you that you have control of that you can break? What's the serenity prayer, right? What is it? It's the ability to recognize there are things you can control them. Things that you can't, have peace over them. And then have the wisdom to know the difference. There's things you can and things you can't. Controlling the controllables is crucial. So it is absolutely essential that as you're moving through life and you're looking to become a better man, and I pray to God that every one of you is watching this, not for entertainment purposes, but to lean in to be great, to be a better man, that you're challenging yourself to say, what is it that I need to work on? What is it that would make me a better father? What is it that would make me a better mentor to my children? What is it that would make me a better leader in my community? I hope all of you that are following this channel are asking yourself, what is it that I can do to be more impactful, to be a greater influence? The word for leadership is influence, right? It's the definition. How well do we influence? If you want to lead If you want to grow, lead followers. Want to multiply, lead leaders. Leaders are more difficult to, I don't know what's the word. I don't want to use the word control, but to influence. They're harder on themselves. But that's okay. Being hard on yourself is part of it. It's just don't get to a point where you're defeated that you hang your head to where the next moment you make such a mistake that it costs the whole team. Learning how to get back up is absolutely crucial. Don't be fooled by the influencers on the web. Don't be fooled by the really good-looking person that seems to have it all. Oftentimes, that's a compensation. It's a compensation for a self-image issue. They're hiding something that they're not proud of. They're dealing with some things that they just wish hadn't happened, and they're letting it own them. So they try to cover it up by their looks or their muscles or their tight shirts or their fancy car or their jewelry or what have you. Learn to look at the heart. Learn to discern the difference between the poser and the person that really wants to see you change. That really is able to say, look, I hurt with you on the mistakes you've made, but you're not a mistake. And we're gonna get back up and we're gonna find solutions. We're gonna make the changes and we're gonna be better. A poser will kick you down the hill. They'll kick you downstream, you're out, you're off, see you later, and they just send that problem down to the next organization they're part of. Man, when I see someone fail and they're like, I don't know why, but they want to change, man, my heart goes out to them, and I'll do everything. I will bust my butt to help people break through the areas of failure. If you find a coach or a mentor that's working with these things, listen to how they coach. Right? We know that a coach teaches you how to act. A mentor teaches you how to think. You want people to do both. To change the way you think, which influences the way you act. If you just change the way you act, when you come back to the moment of great pressure, you're going to go back to your instincts and go back to the way you think. If you don't change the way you think, you can't consistently change the way you act. So when you get around mentors, be aware. Are they just looking for image? Are they just looking for the show? Are they just looking for the win? Or are they digging into the human? Are they digging into your heart? Are they? I can remember coaching kids and a dad in the stands kind of, come on, oh, just like yelling at their kid. And I'm like, you're not helping that child get better. In fact, you're going to freeze them to a point where they're going to get worse. And then you play that game and ignore them and act like, I don't know, I'm bigger than the problem now because I'm going to be quiet. Well, really what you're doing is you're punishing them with silence. Guys, be careful who you select. I've selected some great ones. I've selected some wrong ones. We learn from that. Don't get bitter, get better. Recognize that they're just people. Your teachers, your parents, your coaches, people in your life, they're just people. They got their own problems. They got their own issues. If you got a mentor that's giving you the business one day and riding hard, trade that what's wrong with you, that anger you have for them for compassion, right? Recognize that maybe they had I met with a guy yesterday. He was kind of down. I'm like, trying to figure it out. And he just put his dog down. He wasn't the same. He was hurting, and you know what he needed that day? Just a friend, just to hang out, just to talk. All right, we get together every couple of weeks, talk about some really cool stuff. This day, it was just about friendship. It was just about brotherhood. It was just about connecting. Be aware, have some discernment. People need a friend first. They need a hug before they need a kick, right? People won't accept your kick if they haven't had your hug. Why? Because people don't care what you know until they know what you care. What does that mean? You got to connect with them. You got to take the time to slow down and say, what's going on? How are things at home? How's your wife, right? How's your kids? How's your friends, right? What else is going on? Because you just don't know. What's the saying? You don't know the pain of man's soul till you've walked 1,000 miles in shoes. That's reality. Be careful. The comparison, what did we call that? The disease of comparison. It's a real thing. Don't compare to people you don't really know. You see their life on social media and all these great things and this day and that day and oh my God, and you're like, man, I wish I could be them. No, you don't. I don't think you see the other side of it. Always, who shows a bunch of pictures on social media of their bad days, of their bad photos? The reality is most of us carry around a bag of pictures of our bad days, but we show everybody our good days. So we think, man, I don't compare to these guys, compared to so-and-so, compared to their life, compared to their success, compared to their joy, compared to their marriage, what I see, they're just doing amazing. Don't be fooled. It's okay to be inspired by people's lives. It's okay to be inspired by their lifestyle. It's okay to see something someone has and go, man, I want to do that. I want to have that. I want to be like that. To be inspired, but don't compare. Don't judge. Don't hold yourself in contempt because you aren't them or don't have them, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You know that and I know that. But it's a big issue today. And we're seeing a lot of young men losing their self-image because they think they don't compare to the person that shows all this good stuff, but behind the scenes, they don't know what's going on at home. They don't know what's going on in their other relationships. They don't know what's going on in their health. They just don't know. So be aware. Be sensitive to that. Have some discernment. Ask a deep question. Ask them, well, how's it going for you? And if you don't get any kind of real answer, if you say, how's your health? And they don't give anything. If you ask them, how's your relationship? And you don't get anything, I don't know if that's the person you're looking for. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's up to you. But I'm looking for people that can get real with me. I'm looking for people that aren't afraid to share what's going on, because that's what I'm looking for. I want people to know that I hurt and that I struggle. I am toxic optimism, whatever that means. I am a positive, enthusiastic, outgoing. I see the good always, but that does not mean that it's always good that's happening. I know that this too shall pass. I know that I'm exactly where I need to be to learn exactly what I need to know to get exactly what I've asked for. I know that things happen in my life for a reason, and oftentimes it's only a season, but never is it for a lifetime. I know that situations happen, and that's just part of the deal. That's part of being a man, is learning how to get back up, learning how to not let a particular individual define the entire world for you. If you've been through 3 or 4 mentors or 3 or 4 friends that you've tied into and it hasn't gone well, don't give up hope. Don't lose hope. Keep asking. Keep digging in. Keep learning. You're going to find that human being. You're going to find that hope of that man that can really connect with you, that can really take you to places you haven't been. Don't isolate. You're not going to get where you want to get just locking yourself. I will tell you that even if you get what you're looking for, and you've done it through isolation, how are you going to help anybody? How are you going to mentor anybody if you say, well, I just sucked it up and I just toughed up and I did it on my own? And that's not relatable. It's like, listen, the guy that got a multi-million-dollar inheritance, they can't coach you in how to make millions of dollars. They never did it. Right? The word mentor comes from, I think it was the Greeks, that when a man went to war and they came home from multiple years of battles and tested, they earned the title mentor because they've been through the hardships of war and death and the challenges of leadership. Until someone has been through a lot of stuff, you just don't know. I heard it said for years, don't trust someone who doesn't have a limp. What does that mean? If they haven't been through some failure, if they haven't been banged up, if they haven't been through injuries, then maybe they just really haven't been through enough to really coach you in the way you need to be coached. Be careful. Pick the right ones. I'm not trying to scare you off. I'm just trying to give you some discernment. And in today's world where social media seems to grab the attention, and I look at these guys that have millions of views and millions of followers, and I'm like, I wonder what's really going on there. It doesn't mean I don't listen to what they're saying. It just means I'm not going to hang my hat like, man, I wish I was them and everything you say is bang on, because it's not. We take a little bit from everybody and then find a few individuals that will give you the time, that will lock in with you and do life and get honest and share their days. I've got a few men in my life right now that are many years younger than me, and I love doing life with them because they're real, right? Sometimes they feel bad. Man, I feel like I always tell you what's going on bad. That's okay. I want to know. That's what a friend is. We're going to talk about it, but we're not going to stay negative. We're not going to stay down. We're not going to stay defeated. We're not going to stay depressed. We're going to look at that with discernment. We're going to become better, and we're going to say, what part can I play in a solution to make what's broken a little better? And if you're mentoring someone that doesn't want to get better, I would suggest you take your time other places. I would guess you put your investment into a different scenario. Because if they're just looking for confirmation, if they're just looking to be told everything good, then they're never going to really have the kind of breakthrough that's necessary. Does that make sense to you? I want you to be a great man, but it's going to take some work. And you got to find someone you can lock in with. Be careful. Don't be fooled by the posers. Go deep, ask the deep questions, and when you get some advice, if it's something you don't want to hear, challenge it. Why do you say that? Tell me more. Give me more reasons. Why should I? And then begin to evaluate if that advice truly makes sense for you. If it does, then make the hard choice and get to work. When I was going through the great changes in my life, when I was overcoming my defeat and my shame, it was difficult to ask questions to people saying, what is it that you see about me that would have brought this on? And I didn't oftentimes want to hear the answers. But the answers are the things that allowed me to redefine myself, that allowed me to dig in and make the changes to hopefully become a better man. And I got that big sign above me that says under construction, the big stamp in the back that says fragile, right? Fragile. Still there. It's okay. You may never arrive. Success is a progressive realization of the worthwhile goal or dream. It's a progress. Day by day, we work on things and we get a little bit better. Hopefully, at the end of the road, what we can say is we've taken our pain and helped other people get out of their pain, deal with it, or avoid it. And that's what a mentor is about. If you can't find someone to go deep, move on. If they want to go deep, then move in with them and use your discernment to evaluate the advice you get, because no man knows it all, right? A man of many counselors is wise in all his ways. I have a COL in my life, a council of leaders of men that help me in my faith, help me in my finance, they help me in my health, they help me in my family, they help me in my overall fund to make sure I'm still kind of keeping loosey-goosey. But have people in your life that you can call upon when the time is right. Okay? That's crucial in becoming a greater man. All right? Man Maker out.